Sometimes the best plan, well, it isn't the one you start with. It's the one you're forced to scramble together after your original plan just completely blows up in your face. Welcome to Exponential Builder, where I share the behind the scenes journey of building in the exponential age, my wins, my lessons, and the thoughts shaping my next moves. And let me tell you, today's story is a perfect example of that. It's all about what happens when a really simple plan just goes completely, and I mean completely off the rails. All right, so let's start with what I actually did today, or what I tried to do. The plan was so straightforward. I was just going to kick off the sprint to get my new community platform live. That's it. Should have been simple, right? Yeah, it absolutely was not. This timeline, wow, it really shows how fast a good plan can just completely spiral out of control. So I start the day, right, all set to get the Whop community live, and bam, immediately hit a tech wall. The platform itself just isn't working, and support, a total dead end. Okay, deep breath. Then comes the second punch to the gut. An email from the Australian government telling me my business number, my ABN, had been canceled, just like that. So no paid features, nothing. The rest of the day basically turned into this frustrating battle with bureaucracy. But, I tried to salvage it. I pivoted and turned it into a brainstorming session for my main project, the Exponential Busker content engine. And this really just captures the whole thing, doesn't it? On one hand, you have the plan, a nice, smooth sprint to lunch. And on the other hand, reality. A total vortex of tech problems and government red tape, stuff that's completely outside of my control. I think every builder out there knows this feeling, right? But here's the thing. It's inside that frustration that you find the really valuable lessons. So what did I learn from all this? I mean, a day this infuriating, it really forces a choice on you, doesn't it? You can either let it defeat you, or you can try to pull some hard-won wisdom out of it. I decided to go for the wisdom. First lesson in this one was painful but so necessary. You have to buffer for the stuff you can't control, always. Third-party tech, government agencies, they're on their own schedule, not yours. And just assuming they'll work perfectly right when you need them, that is a recipe for disaster. You absolutely have to build that buffer time into your plans. Lesson number 2, the perfect launch is a total myth. Seriously. I could sit here and wait for weeks, maybe months, for everything to get fixed and be perfect. Or I could get a free version of the community live right now and just start building. This whole mess just cemented a core belief for me. Speed and iterating in public will always beat slow perfection. It's just so much better to improve based on what's really happening, not just on some theory in your head. And the third lesson, which is probably the most important one of all, it's why you should want to launch sooner. It's because that early feedback you get from real people, it's absolute gold. I mean, think about it. Building something in a vacuum for months is a massive risk. But launching a simple, maybe even a little broken version now, that lets actual users tell you exactly where you should be focusing your energy. And that feedback, man, that is the most valuable resource you will ever have. So these lessons, they weren't just about surviving a bad day. They actually triggered a huge fundamental shift in my whole strategy. Which brings me to how I'm thinking about all this now. These roadblocks literally forced me to tear up my entire timeline. It's completely changed how I'm approaching this entire project. And it all boiled down to this one big question. My original plan, right, was to launch the Exponential Busker content engine in a few months, all perfectly polished and shiny. But after all the chaos today, I had to ask myself, why am I waiting? Seriously, why? Could I actually compress this whole timeline from months down to just a few weeks? And you know what? The answer was crystal clear. The risk of spending months building a perfect product that nobody actually wants, that risk is so much greater than launching something imperfect now and just adapting as you go. I had this big realization that early visibility, having real conversations, getting actual data, that's what helps you refine faster and build the right thing. So that's the new philosophy. Get it out there. This new way of thinking immediately translated into a new, and I gotta say, much more aggressive plan. So that brings us to what's next. It's time to stop reflecting and start taking action. Okay, so this is the new accelerated path. Here's the plan. Step 1, I'm going to prep the initial products and services for Bella Dalamis. Step 2, get Exponential Busker set up for a public launch, and I mean fast. Step 3, get the first few offers up in the Exponential Tom shop. And then step 4, and this is the most critical part, start engaging with the community and learning from those very first early members. This isn't some long-term, far-off roadmap anymore. This is a sprint. We're doing this now.
So I guess I'll leave you with the same question this whole experience left me with. When you hit a roadblock, is it really a stop sign? Or is it maybe a detour to an even faster route? It's so easy to see it as a failure in the moment, but I'm starting to think that more often than not, it's just a sign pointing you down an unexpected and maybe even a better path. This is Exponential Builder, brought to you by Exponential Tom. If you want to follow my journey, explore the tools I use, and join the movement, head on over to exponentialtom.com.